Did you know that failing to file a simple document on time could cost you a hefty fine, get you disqualified as a director, or even result in criminal charges? So if you run a company in the UK, you need to be aware there are some new penalties coming from Companies House, and they seem to mean business. Now in this video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about the new rules, what you need to do to stay compliant, and how to avoid fines, disqualification, or worse. So stay tuned, because this could save your business a hell of a lot of money. Welcome back, Chris Worden, Director First YouTube channel, where we make UK insolvency and company compliance easy to understand and dare I say it, maybe a little bit entertaining. Today's video is all about the new Companies House penalties that have been introduced under the Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Act 2023, easy for you to say. These new rules are designed to crack down on businesses that fail to meet their legal obligations. But don't worry, we're going to break it all down in simple terms so you can easily understand how these changes might impact your business and what you can do to avoid penalties. So first things first, let's talk about what's changing. So Companies House is introducing new penalties for businesses that fail to meet their legal obligations, such as not filing confirmation statements or annual accounts on time, providing inaccurate or misleading information on Companies House register, and failing to comply with court orders relating to company filings. If you fail to comply, you could face financial penalties, civil action, or even criminal prosecution. Now, that's in the most serious cases, okay? And it's not just fines. Directors who don't comply, they're talking about disqualifying them. Could you imagine not complying with Companies House and having a criminal record? So why is it happening now? As I say, the changes are part of the Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Act 2023, which is all about improving corporate transparency and cracking down on economic crime. Now, the government has given Companies House more power to enforce compliance and ensure the information of the company register is accurate and up to date. And we've all been there. You get a letter from Companies House and you're like, well, it's not HMRC, it's not the Insolvency Service, not the police. Okay, that might just be me, but no, in all seriousness, you sometimes don't take these Companies House documents serious. Now, there's a guy called Martin Swain, and he is the Director of Intelligence and Law Enforcement at Companies House. And he's put it clearly: if guidance and support aren't enough to encourage businesses to comply, we will not hesitate to use our new powers to enforce the law. So in simple terms, the government is getting tougher on businesses that break the rules or try and operate in the shadows. Now, you might be wondering, how will Companies House enforce these new penalties? Well, they've set out an enforcement policy that outlines how they'll approach non-compliance. Now, the policy document is a little bit boring, so I'll try and break it down here. They're using a mix of financial penalties, civil actions, and criminal prosecutions, depending on the severity of the breach. But here's the key: they're going to take a proportionate approach. It means that they're not going to hit small mistakes with massive fines, but they will get tough on businesses that repeatedly ignore the rules or intentionally mislead. Now let's break down some of their enforcement processes. Now, a minor offence, so this might be late filing, Companies House are going to issue reminders, and they're going to give your business a chance to get back on track. More serious breaches, if you continue to ignore warnings, they may give you a financial penalty or even a civil action. So that could be, for example, Companies House can go to court to force a business to file missing documents. Now, in the most serious of cases, they can come at you with a criminal prosecution. So this is when a company deliberately files false or misleading information. Now, Companies House will work with the Insolvency Service, HMRC, and other people to pursue prosecution. So it's not just the company that's at risk. Directors are going to face pretty serious consequences too. So here's what can happen if you, as a director, don't comply with the law. Well, the first thing, right, let's talk about financial penalties. Directors can be personally fined if their company fails to file documents or provides false information. They're also saying that Companies House can ask the courts to disqualify a director from managing a company if they fail to meet the responsibilities. And they could ban you from being director for up to 15 years. Now, in the most severe cases, directors might face criminal charges, and if convicted, you could end up with a criminal record. So these penalties are designed to hold directors accountable and ensure that they take companies' complaints seriously. So let's talk about how you can avoid these penalties and stay on the right side of the law. Remember, as a director, you have a legal responsibility to ensure your company's filings are accurate and submitted on time. And these include things like filing your confirmation statement each year, submitting your annual accounts on time, keeping your company's details up to date, like changes in directors or shareholders. Here are some practical tips to stay compliant. Set reminders. You can use Companies House email reminder service so you get notified about upcoming deadlines for things. Stay organised, keep accurate records of your company's activities and make sure your filings reflect what's happening in your business. I think most importantly, seek professional help. If you're unsure about what's required, it's always a good idea to seek advice from an accountant. Really speaking to your accountant, it'd be your accountant who'll remind you of all this stuff. But some people don't have an accountant, or worse still, don't use the accountant that they pay for. Listen, if you don't comply with the new rules, Companies House are going to take action based on the severity of your non-compliance. Their compliance framework ranges from minimal effort required for those who occasionally miss deadlines but correct their mistakes, I may be guilty of that once or twice, to serious non-compliance where a company repeatedly ignores the rules. So let's break down what these compliance levels are. Level 1, you're compliant, no issues. The company files on time and follows the rules. Companies House will monitor activity, but they will take no further action. Level 2 is minor non-compliance. So these people have occasional late filings or mistakes. Companies House may issue a penalty, but will offer support to help the company stay compliant. Level 3, serious non-compliance. Regular late filings, cutting corners or making errors. And it's at this stage that Companies House are going to take stronger action, such as issuing a court order to force compliance or taking steps towards prosecution. Now, level 4 and 5 are major non-compliance, and they're talking about willful disregard for the law. These companies don't respond to reminders or court orders and frequently file inaccurate information. Now, at this level, Companies House will pursue the most serious penalties, including criminal prosecution, director disqualification, and financial penalties. Now, this Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Act 2023, bit of a mouthful, it's going to give them new powers to act as a gatekeeper for company information. And it means they're now more active in verifying the information businesses submit. And they have the tools, they're using all manners of AI to target economic crime. Now, the registrar's objective include ensuring that companies provide accurate info, reducing the risk of false or misleading information on the public register, and cracking down on unlawful activities. These new powers means Companies House can take more proactive role ensuring that the companies operate legal and transparently. So let's wrap the video up. The new penalties from Companies House are part of a broader effort to improve corporate transparency and reduce economic crime. Okay? If you're a company director, you need to be aware of these changes and take steps to ensure that your business is compliant. This is what you need to remember. Stay on top of your filings. Make sure the confirmation statement goes in and the annual accounts go in on time. Keep company information up to date. Avoid penalties by being proactive and organised. Remember, a lot of this stuff your accountant should be doing, but please have an accountant and make sure you listen to him. If you're unsure, seek professional advice to ensure complaints. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for tuning into Director First. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel, give us a comment, give us a like. Thanks for your time and have a nice day.